Hello and welcome to the Gemelos podcast. This is our very first episode. I'm Phil and with me is my brother Dave.
Hey everyone.
We are independent artists and musicians from Southern California. Well, East Los Angeles area, right? To be more exact. And as the title suggests, we are gemelos. For those who don't know what gemelos means, it's the Spanish word for twins. We are identical twins, which means we technically came from the same egg of our mom, right?
Yes, as far as we know.
Yeah. So I'm Phil, and I'm a freelance artist and indie author. I've been doing freelance art for over 15 years now. I've also worked as an educator for over 10 years. And you?
I'm Dave. I'm also a writer. I like anything to do with writing, entertainment, music. Also, I've been an educator for over 10 years, and that's that's my background.
The reason why we started this podcast is to provide a twin Latino perspective on various topics such as art, entertainment, and pop culture, right?
Yeah, we as twins seem to have similar opinions, but also very different
Mm,
opinions about certain subject matter. And we thought this would be a very interesting way to express those opinions.
yeah.
And we're very excited to share our points of view regarding media that interests us.
Yeah, so I don't know how different our voice sounds, but we've been told we sound very similar. So I don't know how
Yeah, you must pay
listeners,
attention.
how the listener sees if you can differentiate between both of us,
Yeah, we
and
might have to say, "Oh, this is Dave talking," or "This is Phil talking."
or we may have to put some sound effects or something, right, to kind of make
Some
it.
a
But we'll see.
vocoder
We'll
like the
just
Transformers
yeah,
or
or something
something.
like that. But we'll as is. We'll leave it as is, and hopefully, it could make sense. But um, I guess in today's just we want to really briefly talk about life as a twin. Some of you may be a twin, or you may have
You may feel like a
siblings,
twin.
or you feel like a twin, right? You have siblings, or you have very close friends, or someone that is a twin, and I'm referring more to an identical twin. There is fraternal twins, and yeah, that's
And we
also
know plenty of them as well.
yeah, but I guess in this how can I say it, just more specifically to identical being an identical twin, and we want to first start talk just to mention a little bit of how people behave around us, or how they behave around other identical twins.
Or how we're perceived by the general public.
Yeah, I think one of the first reactions, right, people get, or what it was one of the first comments we get, or when people tell us what's the first thing that comes out of their mouth when they see us both and say, what's the first thing they say? Are you guys related? Right? That's the question they ask, which is kind of funny because it's like, they don't want to directly say, "Are you a twin?" or "Are you guys twins?" Very rarely you do get that. We do get that, but we always get, "Are you guys related?" And I just find that
Yeah,
pretty
it's a good
funny.
way to break the ice, I
Yeah,
believe. They Some people don't want to get it wrong, but at the same time they're interested in knowing, or they just want to speak to us, so they break the ice by going with the twin route.
hmm
You question, you interrogate the whole twin idea, and that's been a norm for us in most of our lives. We're very used to it. We're very well versed in the whole being approached by someone
yeah,
regarding our twinness,
yeah, and
or
it never changes. You would think you get older, people start treating you differently, but no, you still get the same type of treatment at times. Where the way they observe, or the way they look at you, or the way they see you, or they get that little confused look on their face. But
and it,
we're used to it.
and it brings me to one of the questions, like, uh, are um are you guys the same? That's one question.
Oh yeah, one of the
Are you
common
guys
questions.
similar? How different are you guys? The same? Do you guys think the same? And how do we answer that? How would you answer that?
No, I would say no. We're kind of have our own personality. We do have. Well, I mean, obviously we have a lot of similar interests. Just based on our upbringing and being. How
From the
can I
same
say?
generation,
Yeah,
same age,
same age. Yeah,
close to the same media, same social circles,
I would say
same
that. Yeah.
school. not until we got older where we went to separate schools,
Yeah.
where we kind of are on our own world, experiencing it without our significant relative there to influence
Yeah.
other people's perceptions,
But
which is very interesting.
somehow, because we went to school still in the state, in same state, so you even still get those things that we get in high school, or even junior high and elementary, where people see you and they don't know that you have a twin. And it's happened on
Many
many
occasions.
occasions where you see someone I know from a school that doesn't know I'm a twin. They see my brother at a public place, and they either try to make eye contact with him or tell him hi, and then they get kind of like this. I don't want to say like half-hearted, like back, wave back or something, but they're like, "Hey, what's going on?" And then I tell them, "Oh, that's my twin brother. That's probably why he didn't. It wasn't me. If it wasn't me, I would have said hi, or I would have gone and approached you or talked to you. So that's still till this day that still happens.
Yeah, I can only imagine what these people are feeling, especially those who, as it is, it's hard for them to approach someone and break the ice. Like when you don't have that person, reacting the way that you would want them to react. Not because I don't. In our perspective, the twin doesn't. I mean, we don't want to be your friend, but we really don't know who you are. If you
Yeah,
know who my brother is, but don't know me, I don't know who you are, and we don't have that twin tuition thing where I'm gonna know who he knows.
yeah.
Although there are some studies, I think, where there is some
Hmm.
commonality thing going on where you may know someone because they relate to your brother, to your twin, your other twin, and that makes it much easier to relate to because
Yeah.
you know your twin, right? In
Yeah.
theory.
Well, I mean, for me, whenever that happens, and it still happens when someone comes to approaches me, or like says hi or something, like I kind of already know the situation, so I kind of try to just be polite, not necessarily engage too much, but just do this kind of casual, like, "Oh, hi, how are you? Oh, great, yeah, fine. Oh, okay, yeah, I'll talk to you later." Just
Yeah, sometimes we play
to not make
along.
the
If
situation
it's too
uncomfortable,
yeah, if it's
or
too awkward to
yeah, or
reveal the
awkward.
truth, then you just kinda play along if it's small talk,
Yeah.
sometimes. But most of the time, I would at the end, "Oh, it's my brother, you know. Yeah, you know my brother. Oh," and they go like, "Oh, yeah? Oh, wow, you look just like
Oh
him."
yeah.
And yeah, okay, yeah, we get that all the time. It's pretty weird, it's pretty
So
interesting. And sometimes it is it's not offensive, but it does get annoying after a while, it does. But, you learn to embrace it,
yeah.
that's part of living. It's nothing you can really change
Yeah, I mean,
unless
I don't necessarily get annoyed by it. I kind of understand it. I just kind of go with it. Whenever it happens. But there's a couple things I wanted to mention as well. Like especially like when we're in high school. Um, I don't you get these questions, right? Like yeah, it could get annoying, but one of the common questions you get is, "Hey, if I hit you,
that
does your
other do
brother
they
feel
feel
it?
it?
Or if I hit him, do you feel it?"
We
And it's
still get
like,
those
yeah, we still to this
questions.
day we still get those, and I'm like, funny, and I always just say with like, no, actually, like whoever you're close to, if you're with someone all the time, that it doesn't even matter whether you're twin or not. I think you tend to feel, whenever you become really tight with any person that you're close to. So I don't think it really has to do with any, if you're just twins or
Yeah, that
not.
is very interesting that you say that because
Yeah,
you do have a twin, like speaking for ourselves, you you can develop a very closeness to someone else,
anyone,
a
yeah.
friend, just somebody else. Like it makes it that easier. It's
Hmm.
almost you become close to them more than you're close to your twin.
Yeah, and
Not
that has
because
happened.
you're not close to your twin, biologically or genetically, but because you're so used to being in that close, connected,
Time,
intuitive
yeah.
state that you can actually be close to somebody else,
And then also the time you spent with the persons, and how they, what kind of, you see what's coming, how they'll react to things, their, how can I say, their daily, their habits, and their, how their reactions, and I think it just comes with time, and when you spend time with people. But yeah, oh, another funny question that I would get. This is more like in high school, when it would be like another guy or something, a friend or acquaintance. It'll be like, hey, where's your ugly brother? And I'll at first, when I first heard that, I was like, what does that mean? And then later I started realizing, oh, that's hilarious. Basically saying, where's your ugly brother? As I'm a twin, basically saying, hey, you're ugly. Like, because he's saying your ugly brother. So, or at least that's how I took it. I don't know, that I find that pretty funny.
And
And
another common one is, oh, which one's the nice one?
Oh yeah,
Who's the
that's one.
mean one? You know, that's kind of
Well, I mean,
cliched.
I'm obviously the nice one,
We
right?
always get, yeah.
I'm
Well,
the
I
nice
mean,
one.
me, I would have to say it depends on my mood. It depends on, what's going on.
You know.
And I guess you could say I am the designated mean, serious brother. But you know what? It varies. It really does
Yeah.
vary. But I'll take that title. I mean, I'll take that moniker.
The less nice one, right? And that's fine.
That's
You know.
perfectly
But
okay with
but but
me.
that but that just goes to the point that we are our own. You know, although we're twins, we do have our own personality types, and we are different. You know, we you know, I
Yeah,
would
we are
say we are
individuals.
individuals. You know, at least we try
At
to
least
be. We hope
at
to
least
be.
in our perspective,
Yeah.
because in other people's perspective, maybe someone from a different environment, culture, they might see us the same because
Mhm.
we have similar interests. We do. We love writing music. We love,
Yeah.
our appreciation of, of movies and, media from our time, and it kind of links us
Yeah.
together. But we do, when you really pay attention, there is a difference, and a lot of people that we get to know us, family and friends and just strangers, they point that out too, like, oh, you guys are very different
Mhm.
once they get
Oh,
to know
yeah,
us.
that's one of the things, like, I like hearing sometimes, like, "Oh, man, you guys really
Perhaps
are different." Like, "Oh, yeah, totally different."
Perhaps you,
Eh
as the further on in this production, you
yeah.
will maybe find that difference,
Yeah,
or
and you know, even to the looks, like, some they're, you know, very close friends and family, they're like, "Oh, you guys look totally different. I don't know why people think you guys look alike. I don't even know why people confuse you. You guys look completely different," you know?
yeah. Upon meeting us, some people say that, no,
Yeah.
you look very different, and
So
then some say, oh, you guys look
you guys look
identical. Like, oh, I could never tell.
yeah.
You look so alike. You sound the same. I could never tell. And even after knowing us for several years, I mean, not the close friends, but the ones that you see every once in a while, some of them still get
Mhm.
confused, which is very bizarre for me. But
Well,
it
that's
comes with the territory. It's
yeah.
something we're used to,
Yeah, well,
and now we're learning to kind of work with it,
yeah, and
and maybe use it to our advantage.
hence the Gemelos podcast.
It definitely, breaks the ice, though.
Yeah.
Being a twin is a good icebreaker because someone always, "Hey, are you a twin? Hey, are
Oh,
you
yeah, it
guys
does. Yeah,
twins?
you're right, you're
Hey,
right.
are you guys the same?" And as much as we hear it, and become annoyed with it at various times in our lives, now we're like, "Okay, this is the natural icebreaker that we," you know, um, it's an introduction,
Yeah,
and it's kind of, not many people have that. Some people have
yeah.
to work hard. They have to actually, think about what they're gonna say,
To break the ice.
to
Yeah,
break
you're
the
right.
ice with somebody else. With us, it's already there.
It's already
It's set
there. We
up
don't
for
have,
us.
sometimes we don't have to say anything, huh? It just yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it's like a template for
Yeah,
someone to already approach, and it's kind of cool. It's like, oh,
yeah,
okay, there, we already know it's gonna happen. Well, especially if we're together, like, in the same
yeah.
place, it might happen.
And we do, you know, we do dress similarly. We you know, we kind of
Shorts, tank
tank
tops,
tops, jeans. Yeah,
jeans,
I
yeah,
mean,
hair. We both
I would
right
say
now
I
we
would call
both
it
have
casual.
similar hairstyle,
Yeah.
but that may change, occasionally.
Well, I mean, it has to do with the projects that we're working on and the potential
The
that
look that we're going
the look
for,
we're going for
yeah,
the project.
and we're never around, so it's not we're not threatened. But
Yeah.
usually, yeah, we try not to be too similar. So even in high school, or as of recent, we make sure we're not wearing the same color, so people don't think that, oh, we're trying to purposely, be, you know um similar dress to create an effect. We do want to kind of be distinguished. Like, we
Yeah.
want people to know, okay, you're you and you're you, and but we can only do so much.
Yeah.
Especially to those who do see us as, like, super identical.
Well, that's our brief, I guess, introduction to this podcast. I'm very excited to record more. You know, we want to talk about all this other stuff. But stay tuned and thanks for tuning in.